Nerderotic.com.
Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Buechler, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And once again, we're taking aim at Doctor Who. The news does not stop, and it looks like we have touched a nerve because we got a response through the public relations firm that is Digital Spy or Access Journalism, and Jodie Whittaker, who defends Doctor Who Series 11's topical storylines. We have the opportunity with this show like no other. Oh, wow. If you think that didn't sound pretentious, wait, there's more. Jodie Whittaker has hit back at critics of the new series of Doctor Who have accused the show of being too politically correct. The BBC series has included storylines such as Rosa Parks and the American Civil Rights Movement and the partition in India in Series 11, though some aren't happy. That is true. Before I read this next paragraph, tell me if you've heard this argument before. Some critics have claimed that dwindling ratings that aren't really dwindling, and we will get to that, are down to a more diverse cast and viewer frustration with plot lines that have tended to focus on non-white history. Let me see. Yeah, I think I heard that from Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, a small number of toxic, angry white fans in a small corner of the internet that's really insignificant, who don't really count, and it doesn't represent the majority of fans. But please do ignore the growing view rates of videos complaining about Star Wars, Star Trek, Ghostbusters, and how entire channels have been built on that because there is no outlet for anybody else. But I continue. Whittaker has defended the show as pushing the issues forward. Such an interesting choice of words there. That doesn't sound, again, pretentious at all. What is the point of making a show if it doesn't reflect society today? The actress told the Evening Standard. Well, I thought the point of Doctor Who was to have fun, to be entertained, little escapism. Yeah, sure, you can dabble in reflecting today's society with cell phones, or like the last episode, it was kind of a thing about Amazon. That's fine. But going to Montgomery, Alabama in 1955 and then really doing nothing, it was a coloring book plot. It was nothing else. So you didn't push any plot forward with that. And these are the people who, in the following episode, in the Arachnids in the UK, they had a Trump guy who was an American who liked to shoot everything. So the people who wrote that are the people who brought us the Rosa Parks episode. So I don't know. I don't really agree with that worldview, especially if that's how you see all of us Americans. You know, it plays out more like a reflection of your version of society and your isolated elitist bubble. I continue with the pretentiousness. We have the opportunity with the show like no other to dip into the future, to the past, to the present, to new worlds and time zones. There is never going to be a drought in the stories you can tell. Really. So the BBC is using Jodie Whittaker to run defense over the accusations of Doctor Who being too PC, thou dost protest too much. The reason people flock to YouTube is to have an outlet to vent because it's normal. It's normal for fandom to do. No, there is no such thing as toxic fandom, as we said before. There is only fandom. Problem is that you guys are just new to this process and you're in a new era. You, Jodie Whittaker, are in the new era of being able to directly contact actors or creatives involved in a show or the BBC because there's no filters anymore. That's why we have Twitter, we have YouTube, and I'm sure people at the BBC are watching some of our videos. I don't know about mine, but some other people protesting this show. And again, you guys are new to this process, so let me help you. I'm a former comic shop retailer. I did it 10 years here in very diverse San Francisco, heard all kinds of opinions on everything from comic books to televisions to movies to life. And I can honestly tell you, you are entirely too PC and one-sided. And the biggest problem is, and I will use one of your words, diversity, but you're missing something, diversity of thought. Diversity of thought is absent from any of your shows, and it is pulling people out of the plots. If you brought in plot lines that showed both sides of things with some neutrality, then I don't think we'd be having this conversation. That's not what's happening here. All right, with the Rosa Parks episode, again, it was just a bad guy who looked like Fonzie who didn't like black people for reasons. Like, he was just a space racist. And we saw no background on that. We might get some in the future because they didn't really kill the villain, but it doesn't look like it. We're 7 episodes in. Does this show feel like it's hit its stride at all? It's always topical. Showrunner Chris Chibnall is a very present-minded person who is very aware of the world he lives in and is passionate about storytelling. It would be wrong of him not to have used the past. He does it in a really beautiful way. I mean, that can't be sincere. She's defending Chris Chibnall. That's fine. But if everything is hunky-dory, then why are we already getting rumors that Jodie, you are leaving, and Chris Chibnall is leaving? The report is that Chris Chibnall is leaving due to frustrations probably with the BBC. And this isn't the first time we've heard this. Stephen Moffat had frustrations. We lost Russell T. Davies early because of frustrations. We lost Christopher Eccleston because of frustrations. So the politics within the BBC must be horrible. The only way to save this show is to maybe farm it out to like Anonymous Content, another production company, and just have the BBC still own it, but not run it in any way, because it has just gone long in the tooth. It is, like I've said before, it is a show in its 11th season. And unlike other YouTube commentators, and all YouTube commentators are absolutely free to say what they want about the show. That's cool. But I'm just pointing out that I actually watch the show. I am actually a fan of the show, have been a fan of the show for years. I've seen every episode you can see multiple times. I found value in almost everything, even in the Capaldi stuff. Capaldi was a wonderful doctor. He was amazing, even though he never really found, his stride as a doctor, but it wasn't his fault. Even with the crappy writing and the delays, he was still a wonderful doctor that I miss. Now, Jodie Whittaker, again, nothing against her personally as a doctor. I was not for a female doctor because, I'll state it again. My reasons for this is I feel it's sexist to slap a label on something that you don't feel like you can develop from the ground up. Now, I hear their arguments, but it doesn't work with me anyway. If you want to do a different female Time Lord, create a different character, make her better than the Doctor. I don't care. Cool. I would watch it. I would be there. If I had a problem with diversity or women or anything, I wouldn't watch the show. Like I've said in the Star Trek videos, I wouldn't be into Star Trek. It's not about diversity. I don't care what the people look like. It's the words coming out of their pie holes I have a problem with from the writers, who are essentially hacks. But, Chris Chibnall has written good TV before. I don't think he's doing a good job here, but it might not be his fault. Please see my past video on the Doctor Who messing with scripts. Real quick, we'll go into those ratings again. Of course, Digital Spy refers to itself. The opening episode had a consolidated number of 10.95, which has been consolidated twice, and it just happened to beat Chris Eccleston's 10.91 in 2005. I find that very interesting. The original consolidated number was 10.53, just under it. The second episode was 8.55 consolidated. That's 8.55 million. But now we're in the 6.5 million stage in the latest episodes. And we also go to the US ratings, which, of course, not as many people watch Doctor Who, but the percentages reflect what happens in the UK. And in the 18 to 49 demo, we had a 0.45, which is 1.367 million viewers. And the latest episode had a 0.25, which is 745,000 viewers. So the last time I checked, 6.5 million is less than 10.95 million, and 745,000 is less than 1.367 million. So that would lead me to believe that the ratings have actually gone down. So I don't know how they've gone up. More media shilling. That's all I can say about this. But to deny that Doctor Who is PC is to deny reality. And all you have had to do is watch the last 3 seasons. It's gone so goddamn downhill. It's cringeworthy. They actually mentioned Stronger Together in the Ghost Monument episode. They had to work that in. It's just little bits here and there all over the place. And it's the priority. It's political product placement, like I said before. And that's why you get this garbage heap that we've gotten so far. So I asked earlier, has this show hit its stride after 7 episodes? Hell no. But they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. They got as much political content in there as humanly possible. Oh, and there's more to come, because next week we have the witch trials. So I don't know how many more Doctor Who videos we can do. I guess if we keep getting articles like this, I'm going to keep calling out the bullshit, folks. So if you like what you hear, please like, share, and subscribe. We've gotten a lot of new subs. Welcome, everybody. There's a lot of people upset about Doctor Who. We recap every episode after it airs in the UK, so please join us Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific time here in the States. I'm in San Francisco, California, and you can come and vent your frustration or vent at me if you want in the chat, because it is live. We also do 3 live streams a week. Monday and Wednesday, we do the Nerdrotic Nooner at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time here in the States. And of course, Friday Night Tights. It's named that because of, well, it's a long story. We like superheroes here. So, and there's a football thing called Friday Night Lights down in Texas, so we call it Friday Night Tights. It doesn't matter. It's at 7 p.m. Pacific time on Friday. I am joined by my co-host Susan Layton from 1428elm.com and my good friend Dennis Bathalkas, and a good time is had by all. Now, whether you like me, don't like me, like the show, or don't like the show, I want you to have a great day and be happy. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.